Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to Word Nerds. I'm Lila.
And I'm Kai. Hello, friends. Today we're covering 10 small health habits that genuinely change how you feel, explained in clear, simple English with real research behind every single one.
So, okay, quick question for you, Kai. How many times have you made a big health resolution? New diet, new gym plan, brand new you, and then quit by week 2?
Oh, every January of my adult life, if I'm honest. One year I bought running shoes, yoga mat, and a blender all in the same week. And the blender? Still in the box.
See, that's the problem. We go big, we go loud, and then we go nowhere. And the worst part is, after it fails, we usually feel worse than before we even started, like we've proven something bad about ourselves.
Right, but that's not actually true. It doesn't prove you're lazy, it just proves the plan was too big for a normal week.
Okay, but here's what actually gets me. Everyone says it takes 21 days to build a habit. So by week 3, if it's still hard, people assume something's wrong with them.
Well, that number is completely wrong, by the way. And the real story behind it is even better.
Wait, what? So where does 21 days even come from then?
A plastic surgeon, back in the 1960s, he noticed his patients took about 3 weeks to stop being startled, surprised in a small shock, by their new face in the mirror after surgery. That's it. That's the whole origin. It was never about habits at all. It just got copied into self-help books for 60 years.
So the number everyone repeats isn't even about habits. It's about recovering from surgery?
Exactly. The real research came decades later when scientists at University College London followed 96 people building a new habit. Things like drinking a glass of water with lunch or running 15 minutes before dinner. Sound familiar?
That's basically our list today.
Right? And here's the number that actually matters. On average, it took 66 days for the habit to feel automatic. Not 21, 66.
66 days. Okay, that's more than 3 times longer than what everyone believes.
And it gets even more interesting. Some people got there fast, in just 18 days. And for others, it took much, much longer, almost a year for the slowest habits.
So depending on the person and the habit, it could take anywhere from a few weeks to almost a whole year.
Exactly that. So if you threw in the towel on day 21, that just means you gave up. You weren't failing.
So nobody was actually behind?
Nobody. You were just following a made-up number. The finish line was drawn in the wrong place, that's all. So today isn't about surviving 66 days of pure discipline. It's about habits small enough that you barely even need to try.
Okay, I need a second with that. I've genuinely thrown in the towel on things by day 19 or 20, feeling like a failure, and I was never even close to the real number.
So today, we're not doing the big resolution thing. No diets, no gym plans, just 10 small habits. Most of them take 2 minutes, explained in plain English.
And the science behind why they actually work, not just trust me, it's good for you. Real studies, real numbers, and a few honest confessions from both of us along the way.
So stay with us. 10 tips, one at a time, nothing complicated. Let's start with your morning. Okay, tip 1. Before your coffee, drink a full glass of water.
Wait, before coffee? That feels like a crime. I'd honestly rather skip breakfast than skip my coffee.
I know. Nobody's taking the coffee away. But think about it. You've just gone 7-8 hours without a single drop of water. So that morning fog you feel isn't always tiredness. A lot of the time, it's just mild dehydration.
Okay, let's stop here for a second, because that's a great word, hydrate. Let me slow it down. Hydrate. Say it with us. Hydrate. It simply means to give your body the water it needs. The opposite is dehydrated, not enough water. And when you're dehydrated, your brain works a little slower, kind of like a phone running on low battery. Everything just takes longer to load.
Exactly. So the coffee isn't actually waking you up, The water is doing half the job first.
And if you skip it, you get that heavy, foggy feeling by mid-morning, and you blame it on needing more coffee, when really your body just needed water first.
Fair point.
Also, I actually believe you talk to your coffee machine every morning, like it's a pet, so this feels like a bit of a betrayal of that relationship.
It can still be my pet. It's just second in line now. The water goes first.
A love triangle, live on the podcast.
Exactly. Okay, so tip 2, and this one's Lila's confession. Go on, tell them.
Don't touch your phone for the first 10 minutes after you wake up.
The hardest tip of the whole episode for most people.
For me, definitely. So I used to wake up, and before my eyes even fully opened, I was already reading messages, checking notifications. I hadn't decided a single thing for myself yet. My day was already being controlled by other people. My boss's email, my sister's meme, a stranger's opinion online, all before I'd even sat up straight in bed.
And there's a word for what you were doing. Autopilot. A-U-T-O-P-I-L-O-T. Say it with us. Autopilot. It's when a plane flies itself without the pilot actively controlling it. And instead of saying, I did things without thinking, a nice, natural upgrade is, I was running on autopilot.
That was me. Morning autopilot. Reacting to everyone else before I'd even said good morning to myself.
And it really does show. People who check their phone first thing report feeling more rushed and more anxious within the first hour of their day compared to people who wait even just 10 minutes.
Right. So here's a small example to really picture it. Morning 1, you open your eyes and immediately scroll for 10 minutes. Morning 2, you open your eyes, drink your water, stretch a little, and only then check your phone. Same 10 minutes, but a completely different start to the day.
So that's the whole tip. Coffee, stretch, maybe look out the window, and the phone waits 10 minutes. That's it.
And speaking of windows, tip 3, get 2 minutes of daylight right after you wake up.
Oh, I know how seriously you take this one.
I do this one dramatically. I basically worship my window every morning. I stand there like I'm in a shampoo commercial, arms out, very serious face. My neighbors have definitely seen this and definitely have questions.
But it actually works. Natural light is one of the strongest signals your body has for the day has started. Much stronger than a screen, even a bright one.
So why does that actually matter, in plain terms? Your body has an internal clock, sort of like an alarm that runs all day, and light is the main thing that sets it. So without real daylights, that clock stays confused, and you feel groggy, slow, and half asleep for longer than you need to.
And it doesn't even need to be sunny. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is far brighter than any indoor room.
Good, because where I live, sunny mornings are rare enough to feel like a small holiday.
So, to sum up, glass of water before coffee, phone waits 10 minutes, 2 minutes by a window or outside, 3 tiny things, and you're already more alert and awake without touching your caffeine intake at all.
And speaking of morning, let's move from your morning to your body. Literally, let's get you off the chair.
Okay, tip 4, and this one's a number, and I want you to remember it. 11 minutes.
11 minutes of what?
Movement. So here's why it matters. Researchers have found that sitting more than 8 hours a day without much movement carries health risks that some studies compare to smoking or being overweight.
Wait, hold on. Sitting is as bad as smoking? That's a big claim.
Well, it's debated exactly how equal the risk is. Researchers argue over the details, but the direction is clear. Sitting all day, every day, is genuinely bad for your heart, your blood sugar, even your mood. Now, here's the good news. The fix isn't extreme. Just around 11 minutes of movement a day can make up for a day spent mostly sitting.
Ooh, wait, that's a good one to slow down. Sedentary. S-E-D-E-N-T-A-R-Y. Say it with us. sedentary. It simply means sitting most of the time without much physical activity. A sedentary job, a sedentary lifestyle. So if your job keeps you at a desk all day, that's a sedentary day, and it needs a small counterbalance.
So, you don't need a gym membership. You need 11 minutes spread out, standing or walking.
Right, and it's worth it. Even a short daily walk has been linked to better blood sugar and lower stress compared to people who barely move at all during the day.
Stand while on a call. Walk to fill your water bottle. Take the stairs once instead of the elevator. It really does add up fast.
I feel personally attacked because my office chair and I have a very unhealthy relationship. I've actually named it. That's not a good sign.
Please, divorce the chair.
We're in couples therapy. It's not going well. Anyway, speaking of unhealthy relationships, let's talk about my relationship with the couch. Tip 5, take a short walk after your biggest meal.
Oh, this is the one that saves you from the afternoon crash, right?
Exactly. That heavy, sleepy feeling in the middle of the afternoon. Your focus and energy just disappear. After a big lunch, I used to collapse onto the couch. By 3 o'clock, I felt like I'd been hit by a truck, completely exhausted, out of nowhere. Now I walk for 10 minutes right after eating, and that crash just doesn't happen anymore.
Makes sense. Moving after a meal helps your body process the food instead of just letting it sit there. And you don't need a long walk either. Even 10 slow minutes around the block does the job.
So it's not really exercise. It's more like helping your lunch do its job properly.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, tip 6. And this one has 2 completely different real examples because there isn't just one right way to do it. So, someone I know lives by this. He's tried the gym, he's tried running, neither one stuck. But he walks 5 kilometers every single day, without fail.
So why does walking work for him when the other things didn't?
Because he genuinely believes he can keep doing it forever. It's simple, it's boring in a good way, and his life can actually hold on to it long term.
That's such a good point, actually. The best habit isn't the best one on paper. It's the one you'll actually still be doing in a year.
And here's a second example, mine, actually. I'll admit it, I don't trust my own motivation at all. 0. So instead of relying on willpower, that inner push to just make yourself do something, I pay someone to hold me accountable, a personal trainer. I show up because someone's expecting me, not because I woke up feeling inspired.
So your habit isn't really exercise, it's hand the willpower over to someone else.
Exactly that. Know yourself and build around it.
Which brings me to my story, because I'm a third example, and honestly, I'm the opposite case entirely.
Tell them where you started.
Okay, so I could not run, like, at all. My first attempt, I ran 200 meters, about 2 minutes, and I had to stop, completely out of breath, genuinely a little embarrassed.
And now?
Now, I run 12 to 13 minutes nonstop every other day. And it's not really about fitness for me, it's that every tiny improvement makes me feel more powerful, more capable. I'm chasing that feeling, almost as much as the run itself.
So, 3 totally different people, 3 totally different habits. One thrives on daily simplicity, one hands the motivation to someone else, and one chases visible progress. All 3 work because none of them are fighting against who that person actually is.
Which, honestly, might be the real lesson of this whole chapter. Stop looking for the correct habit and start looking for the one that actually fits your personality.
So, that's the takeaway. Pick one small movement, repeat it 3 or 4 times a week, and don't worry if it looks nothing like anyone else's routine.
Body's handled, legs are moving, chair's been divorced. So now, let's move from the body to the mind.
Okay, tip 7, box breathing before a stressful moment.
I've actually heard of this, but I don't really know how to do it.
Well, let's do it live, right now, so people can hear exactly how it works. 4 seconds in, Hold for 4. 4 seconds out. Hold for 4. Ready?
Ready. In, 2, 3, 4.
Hold, 2, 3, 4.
Out, 2, 3, 4.
Hold, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that actually felt different.
So that's called regulate. R-E-G-U-L-A-T-E. Say it with us. Regulate. It simply means to bring something back to a calm, controlled state. Here, your nervous system, the part of your body that reacts to stress.
Give me a real moment you'd actually use this. Not a big dramatic one, an ordinary one.
Sure. Your phone buzzes with a message from your boss right before a weekend, and your stomach drops before you've even opened it. That's the moment. One round of box breathing before you even read the message.
So it's not about making the stress disappear. It's about not reacting from the worst possible version of yourself. Honestly, that's the version that sends the angry email you regret an hour later.
We've all sent that email.
Exactly. So next time your stress starts spiking, before a hard conversation, before a deadline panic, one round of this before you react.
And 30 seconds genuinely works in any situation, anywhere. No equipment, no app, nothing to remember except 4 numbers.
Okay, tip 8. And this one surprised me when I first read about it. Write down 3 good things before bed.
Oh, this one has real research behind it, not just good vibes. A study found that people who kept a short weekly gratitude list actually exercised more, had fewer physical symptoms, and felt more optimistic compared to people who just wrote down their frustrations instead.
Wait, say that word for us.
Gratitude. Gratitude. Say it with us. Gratitude.
It simply means the feeling of being thankful for something. You'll often hear express gratitude or keep a gratitude journal. Now, okay, but does it have to be big? Because on a genuinely bad day, I don't have 3 big wins lying around.
It doesn't have to be big at all. My 3 good things yesterday were I found a parking spot immediately, my coffee didn't spill, and a stranger held the door for me.
That's such a low bar, and I love it.
That's the whole point. The size doesn't matter. The habit of noticing does. Your brain doesn't actually care if the good thing was huge or tiny. What matters is that you looked for it, on purpose.
It's almost like a muscle. The more you look for small good things, the easier it gets to notice them without even trying. So, before bed, name 3 good things, however small. Mind handled. Now, let's talk about what you're actually eating.
Okay, tip 9. Add some protein or fiber at breakfast, not just sugar.
Okay, confession. My usual breakfast is basically dessert, a pastry, maybe 2, and I call it breakfast with a straight face.
You're not alone. And here's exactly why that backfires, meaning why it causes the opposite of what you want. Sugar makes your blood sugar rise fast, and then it drops fast, hard. And that's where the word hangry comes from.
Oh, I know that word already. Everyone does. That's when you're hungry and angry at the same time, right?
Exactly right. So most people feel that drop and think they need more coffee, or that they're just tired, or that they're annoyed at someone specific, but really your blood sugar dropped an hour ago, and your body is reacting.
So it's really not about willpower or mood at all. It's a chemical crash you built yourself at breakfast with a croissant. Steady breakfast, steady mood. Sugar-only breakfast, and by 11 a.m., you're snapping at people for no real reason.
Exactly. So the fix doesn't need to be dramatic. One source of protein or fiber, eggs, yogurt, oats, even a handful of nuts. It doesn't have to replace the whole breakfast, just join it.
So the pastry can stay. It just needs a responsible friend sitting next to it.
Perfectly put. And there's a nice bonus too.
With steady blood sugar, you won't feel that sudden, strong urge to grab sugary snacks later in the day.
Right. Say that word for us because people will already know the feeling.
Crave. Say it with us. Crave. It means to want something, usually food, very strongly and suddenly.
So think of it this way. A shaky breakfast leads to a hungry, cranky late morning, which leads to a sugar craving by lunch, which leads to another crash later. One better breakfast can break that whole chain.
Great point. Last stop, sleep. Okay, tip 10. And I'll admit, this one is really about me. Build one repeatable habit that helps you relax before bed.
Oh, this is the one more episode tip, isn't it?
It is. Guilty. Completely guilty. So, there's real research behind why that habit actually hurts you. A well-known study found that reading on a tablet before bed delayed the release of melatonin, your body's natural sleep signal, by about an hour and a half compared to reading a printed book.
Okay, so why should we actually care about that? Well, it means your body thinks it's still daytime, so it takes longer to actually fall asleep. And the next morning, you feel groggier than you should.
Exactly. And there's a nice word for the fix. Wind down. Say it with us. Wind down. It's a phrasal verb, meaning two words working together, and it simply means to slowly relax and lower your energy before sleep, instead of stopping suddenly.
Like a car slowing down gradually before a stop, instead of hitting the brakes hard.
Exactly that image. Also, a quick, honest update because newer research is actually a bit more mixed on this.
Oh, right. I remember reading that too.
So, some newer studies suggest it might really be about how bright the screen is, more than the blue color itself. A bright screen at midnight is the real problem, not screens existing at all.
So basically, turn it down, you don't have to turn it off completely.
Exactly. And here's a nice detail. Elite athletes reportedly treat sleep like part of training, not an afterthought. They don't hope for good sleep, they build a routine for it, the same way they'd build a training plan.
So the actual tip is pick one repeatable little habit. Same tea, same playlist, lights turned down low, starting 15 to 20 minutes before bed. Something simple that tells your brain, we're relaxing now.
Exactly. And the same part matters more than people think. Your brain learns the pattern. After a week or two, the tea itself starts to feel sleepy just because of what it's connected to.
Like a bell ringing for dinner and the dog already running to the kitchen?
A little bit, yes. You're training yourself, gently, on purpose.
That's it. Small, repeatable, and it connects right back to everything we've talked about today.
Okay, so we've covered your morning, your body, your mind, your food, and your sleep. Basically, the whole day. Let's run through all 10, fast, so it really sticks.
1. Water before coffee.
2. Phone waits 10 minutes.
3. 2 minutes of daylight.
4. 11 minutes of movement spread out through the day.
5. A short walk after your biggest meal.
6. Pick one small habit, repeat it, and don't compare it to anyone else's.
7. Box breathing before stress hits.
8. 3 good things before bed.
9. Protein or fiber at breakfast.
10. One repeatable habit that helps you wind down before sleep. So, none of these 10 things need motivation you don't already have. They're small enough to just start today. And honestly, small enough that there's no real excuse not to try at least one.
And here's the thing worth remembering. None of this was about becoming a different person. It's about the same you, just a little more taken care of.
And you don't need to do all 10 at once. That's how people end up throwing in the towel by week 2. Pick one, just one.
Do it for a week. See how it feels. Then, if you want, add another.
Tell us in the comments, which tip are you starting today? We read every single one.
See you in the next episode.
Take care of yourselves, friends. You've got this.